this movie was gnarly. Evil Dead Rise is the newest movie in the Evil Dead franchise and is kind of a reboot of sorts for the franchise. And this is a twisted tale of two estranged sisters whose reunion is cut short by the rise of flesh-possessing demons, thrusting them into a primal battle for survival as they face the most nightmarish version of family imaginable. I'm just going to preface by saying that I'm not the biggest fan of the Evil Dead franchise. I actually think that most of the movies aren't even that good, which I know is a hot take. They are some of the most acclaimed horror movies of all time, but they're just simply not for me. So going into this movie, I wasn't overly excited by any means, but there was a lot of good buzz surrounding it. Warner Brothers was supposed to actually even put this movie straight to streaming on HBO Max, but instead they decided to put it into theaters because they saw how good it was. I knew that it could make them some money, so I was immediately interested by just that fact itself. And this movie really surprised me. It is a gnarly and brutal time at the movies. Horror fans are going to eat this one up. But before I get more into my in-depth thoughts on this movie, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and comment down below what are your thoughts or expectations for Evil Dead Rise. But let's keep talking about the movie. Now, the opening for this movie was fairly simplistic, a typical setup for most modern horror movies nowadays. You had a couple characters. One of them is acting a little bit suspicious, and I won't get any further into that, and you can witness it for yourself. But the reason why I brought this up is because the title card drop for this movie is awesome. And even the end credits for this movie are unsettling with a creepy score. This movie as a whole is creepy with some grotesque body horror. It has violence for days. There was so much blood used on this set, I'm sure, because there is a lot of blood in this movie. One shot even paying homage to The Shining. And it's just a really gnarly movie. The kills are gross, and I even looked away a couple times. But it does a great job at creating a creepy atmosphere. Most scenes are pretty dim, there's not much lighting, and I feel like that added to the scare factors a little bit. I'll just say straight up, I don't think this movie is the scariest of movies that I've seen. Definitely. I think that's due to the fact that it has a tendency to really rely on jump scares, but jump scares that you can totally see coming, which is why I kind of wasn't too scared by it. But I think the movie makes up for it in, like I said, creating that atmosphere that is going to keep you on the edge of your seat. Another reason why I feel like this movie is so creepy is due to the main performance from Alyssa Sutherland. She's one of the main characters in this movie. She plays the mother of these three children. She even is the figure on the poster, that's all I'll say, and she completely sold me on her performance. She manages to get under your skin with her line delivery. As far as horror performances go that are supposed to make you feel scared or make you tense, she really did a good job, and I give massive props to her. There's some comedy sprinkled throughout, just a couple lines here and there, which is obviously paying a bit of homage, I would say, to the original Evil Dead movies that were very self-aware, cheesy. This movie by no means is cheesy, which is good because I feel like if it was, it would have taken a lot away from the creepiness, but almost like some dark comedy lines sprinkled throughout. There are some horror references, surprisingly not that many to other previous Evil Dead movies, which didn't really bother me by any means. There's maybe a handful of them, probably 5. That might annoy some people, but what it meant to me was that this is a movie that stands on its own. It doesn't rely on being an Evil Dead movie. Yes, the title of Evil Dead will probably get butts and seats when it comes to the movie gaining money at the box office, but it does not rely on just having that IP, which is great. I have to give a lot of credit to writer-director Lee Cronin. He does a great job with this movie behind the camera. The big thing I took away from this movie is that he created an effective horror movie. Because as far as horror movies go, I feel like if it can keep you on the edge of your seat, make you scared, direct your actors into giving their best performances that they can give, blend that all together, and you get a damn near great horror movie, which is like Evil Dead Rise. There's one really cool scene in particular that is like through a door, window, or the transom of sorts, which very much so I had a fun time with watching in theaters. What holds this movie back from just hitting that great mark though, I do feel like some moments drag in between those big moments of there being brutal violence. It definitely tries to build the lore, and that just didn't really intrigue me as the other sequences. And I think a big complaint out of most horror movies for me, and I know plenty of other movie fans, is that the characters aren't the best. There's definitely room for improvement in that aspect that could have been explored more, and they set up more depth to the characters, but it goes kind of unexplored, which sucks in the end because then I don't really care for these characters surviving almost. But what Evil Dead Rise does right is that it will creep you out. Aside from its tendency to rely on cheap jump scares and a lack of depth in writing, the grotesque body horror moments, brutal violence, gnarly kills are what's gonna really make this work for audiences. It surprised me because I haven't really been a fan of any of the previous Evil Dead movies, so for me, it worked. I'm gonna give Evil Dead Rise a B. If you have a movie that's going to have me turning away at times, I give you props to that because that means you're doing something right in the horror department especially. This is a surprisingly solid movie. But once again, make sure to let me know down below in the comment section, did you enjoy Evil Dead Rise like I did? Let me know all that and more down below. And again, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as well as that notification bell so you don't miss any further videos. And look forward to my ranking of all of the Evil Dead movies coming very soon. Thank you so much for watching this review and look forward to more videos and reviews coming soon. My name is Ben, people call me Meter, and I'll see you guys in the next one.